Hello everyone, you're watching News Mongolia on MNB World. It's Thursday, January 5th. I'm Batsir Namshir. Our top stories for today. Erdenes Tavantolgoi joins the company to become a public company. An online meeting was held in connection with the restoration of the operation of Zamiin-Uud Erlian ports. Blue Pearl 2023 Festival will take place from March 1st to 5th. For other news, stay tuned. Members of Parliament submitted a draft proposal about the transfer of the shares of Erdenes Tavantolgoi JSC company to citizens. The draft proposal was handed to the Speaker of the Parliament, on Wednesday, January 4th.
According to resolutions from 2010 and 2011 by Parliament and a resolution of 2012 of the Government of Mongolia, the shares of Erdenes Tavantolgoi JSC company were to become owned free of charge by citizens. As of today, 2.5 million Mongolian citizens and 486 enterprises own shares in Erdenes Tavantolgoi JSC company, of which about 90,000 citizens have since died and around 13,000 have renounced their citizenship. Also, there are 3.3 million citizens who are eligible to own shares in Erdenes Tavantolgoi JSC company. In the future, in order to develop good corporate governance, ensuring the balance of ownership and management control, creating public control through the transparency of the company's share ownership, and prevent any activities contrary to the market, Erdenes Tavantolgoi JSC company is becoming a public company, taking policy measures to increase the number of shares owned by citizens. Citizens of Mongolia registered in the updated Civil Register of Mongolia who were born between April 11, 2012 and December 31, 2022 currently do not own 1,072 shares of Erdenes Tavantolgoi JSC company. Therefore, those children will also be issued shares in the company by the new proposal submitted by members of Parliament. Members note that with the approval of the draft proposal, every citizen of Mongolia will have the opportunity to enjoy income from natural resources equally, and the company's governance will be improved. The balance of ownership and management control will be ensured, and it will have a positive impact on society and the economy. After submitting the draft proposal, members of Parliament Anand Batsir, Batomur and Narmbatar provided some updates to the media.
In connection with the restoration of passenger traffic at Zamiin-Uud and Erlian ports on the border between Mongolia and China from January 8th of this year, diplomatic representations of Mongolia in China and officials from the Ministry of Justice and Home Affairs, the Ministry of Road and Transport Development, and Ministry of Health and other related state bodies took part in a virtual meeting. The virtual meeting was organized at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Wednesday.
The virtual meeting was chaired by the State Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Zangbayir, who presented the situation of working through diplomatic channels to restore passenger traffic at the Zamiin-Uud and Erlian road ports. Consular Department diplomats from Manchuria, Zamiin-Uud Erlian and Zamiin-Uud provided detailed information on current issues regarding the measures being taken to restore passenger traffic at the border ports of Mongolia and China, as well as the position and plans of the Chinese side. During the meeting, the border inspection agencies noted that special attention should be paid to the border crossing of passengers through Zamiin-Uud and Erlian road ports, and to actively cooperate with the Chinese side at the local level to organize the border crossing in an orderly, fast, easy and understandable manner.
You're watching News Mongolia on MNB World. Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
The annual ice festival Blue Pearl 2023, which aims to promote winter tourism in Hubsgol province, will be organized by the Ministry of Environment and Tourism from March 1st till 5th. The first ice festival was held with the aim of preserving Huskil Lake and to promote winter tourism at the initiative of the environmental inspectors of the Special Protected Area of Huskil in 2000. In 2001, the ice festival was held in a broader range and developed as the traditional ice festival celebrated annually to promote winter tourism. The Blue Pearl Festival features an ice knucklebone shooting contest, bicycle and ice skating races, motorsports performances, sled dog race, tug-of-war relay race, family contest, horse race, performance by the Provincial Musical Drama Theatre, and some ritualistic activities.
Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. It's great to be with you. Now let's take a look at international news from our partner agencies. A coalition of Arab nations spoke out against Israel at the United Nations on Wednesday ahead of an emergency meeting of the Security Council to discuss Israeli-Palestinian relations.
And almost all countries in all corners of the globe are saying that the international community is the party to decide the fate of the two-state solution. It is the international community that decides the fate of defending and protecting the historic status quo in Jerusalem, in the defense of the Islamic and the Christian sites in Jerusalem. The attack is not only against our holy sites in Al-Aqsa Mosque and in the Haram al-Sharif. There are, because of this environment of extremism that this Israeli extreme government, the extremist in the history of Israel is providing, is leading to additional aggression against our Christian sites, Christian graveyards. We want this behavior not to be repeated on Al-Aqsa Mosque and on Haram al-Sharif, and we want a guarantee of honoring and respecting the historic status quo in deeds, not only in words. This is the message that you see. As they say, a picture speaks much louder than 1,000 words.
And there has to be a firm stand by the international community against this, because it will happen again. And once it will happen again, a new cycle of violence will ensue.
The meeting follows the visiting of a flashpoint Jerusalem holy site by ultranationalist Israeli cabinet minister Itamar Ben-Gvir. Ben-Gvir, a West Bank settler leader who draws inspiration from a racist rabbi, entered the site known to Jews as the Temple Mount and to Muslims as the noble sanctuary, flanked by a large contingent of police officers. His plans to visit, announced early in the week, had drawn threats from Gaza's Hamas militant group.
Myanmar's military leader, Senior General Min Aung Hlaing, told an Independence Day parade on Wednesday that preparations are going ahead for a national election later this year and urged the country to participate in the political process.
The plan is widely seen as an attempt to legitimize the military's 2020 seizure of power through the ballot box and to deliver a result that ensures the generals retain control. The military will control the entire process with parliamentary political opposition eliminated. Although not officially outlawed, the former ruling party, the National League for Democracy, has effectively been broken up, with its leaders and many of its members either in jail or in hiding. All forms of dissent are currently suppressed by the security forces, sometimes with little force. The NLD, led by Aung San Suu Kyi, won a second successive landslide victory in the 2020 general election, a result that triggered its overthrow by the military in February 2021. The seizure reversed nearly a decade of progress toward democracy following 5 decades of military rule. The military said it acted because there had been massive voting fraud in the poll, though independent election observers didn't find any major irregularities. The country has since fallen into what some have termed a civil war, with newly formed guerrilla units engaging the military in all parts of the country, often alongside long-established ethnic armed groups. Wednesday's large-scale parade marked the 75th anniversary of Myanmar's independence from Britain. Military units and civil servants marched in formation close to the grandiose parliament complex in the capital Naypyidaw, while the jet fighters, bombers, and helicopters flew overhead.
Hundreds of people marched in the Peruvian capital Lima on Tuesday to demand an end to the violent social uprising that followed an abrupt change of government.
Peru's President Dina Boluarte also called for the violent demonstrations that are demanding an end to her government to stop. Boluarte took over the Pedro Castillo after he sought to dissolve Congress ahead of lawmakers' third attempt to impeach him. Peru is set to hold early elections in an attempt to defuse a national political crisis marked by deadly unrest after lawmakers ousted Castillo. The proposal, approved by 91 of the legislature's 130 members, would push up elections for President and Congress to April 2023. They were originally scheduled for 2026. The plan must be ratified by another two-thirds majority for it to be adopted. The measure has the backing of Boluarte.
Now let's take a look at our regular feature on sports. World Cup winner Lionel Messi was given a warm welcome by his PSG teammates following his return to training on Wednesday.
Messi was applauded by the PSG squad as he walked out for his first session back 17 days after lifting the World Cup with Argentina in Qatar. PSG third-tier French side Châteauroux in the Coupe de France on Friday, and it remains to be seen whether head coach Christophe Galtier will include Messi in his squad. A tweet from the club's official account on Wednesday reads, "Welcome back, Leo," accompanied by a video of the 13-year-old arriving at the complex. A separate post shows images of Messi being greeted by teammates in the dressing room, including Brazil star Neymar. Messi returns to the French club at an important time, with the team having lost for the first time this season against Lens last weekend. PSG's lead at the top of the Ligue 1 table has been cut to just 4 points as a result. The team's next game is against Châteauroux in the French Cup on Friday, a game that may come too soon for Messi. His return to Paris comes on the same day his longtime rival Cristiano Ronaldo was unveiled at his new club Al Nassr. The Portugal star signed for the Saudi Arabian club last week after his high-profile exit from Manchester United in November last year.
American football player Damar Hamlin is still in critical condition, but showing some improvement, his team has said. The Buffalo Bills player suffered a cardiac arrest on the field during a primetime Monday night U.S. National Football League game in Cincinnati.
On Wednesday, the Bills issued the brief update on his status. Tributes for Hamlin have poured in from the Buffalo community, the NFL, and across the sports world. The Bills said in a post on Twitter that Hamlin showed signs of improvement noted yesterday and overnight. Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest during the game after tackling Cincinnati Bengals receiver T. Higgins, whose helmet appeared to hit Hamlin in the chest. After initially getting to his feet, Hamlin fell on his back. His injury during the game came as a shock to his family and loved ones, his uncle Dorian Glenn said. Mr. Glenn said his nephew is showing encouraging signs of improvement, such as doctors lowering the level of oxygen he needs. But he added Hamlin is on a ventilator and still sedated.
I want to do right by Damar, and talking to his parents were like, well, Damar would want his story out there. Damar would want to use this to help other people. He would hate for all this attention to just be on him and there not be a positive outcome. So, I mean, that's Damar. I mean, his entire life is spent towards providing and serving other people. Like, that's just who he is.
And what we have been through.
On Tuesday night, players from the city's ice hockey team, the Buffalo Sabres, wore Love 4-3 shirts featuring Hamlin's jersey number as they arrived for their game against the Washington Capitals. That same evening, Niagara Falls, located near Buffalo, was lit up blue in honor of Hamlin. And on Twitter, the Buffalo Bills changed their display picture to a blue backdrop with the words "Pray for Damar" and the number 3. The league's 31 other teams soon followed suit. Hamlin, 24, was drafted to the NFL in 2021 out of the University of Pittsburgh, where he played college football.
Now let's take a look at the weather forecast for the world's major cities. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you on Friday with more news and updates. Goodbye.